2023's box office has been an absolute nightmare for Disney. Instead of the bounce back year they expected, it's been the complete and total opposite. Multiple movies that they put out this year have bombed hard. Maybe some of them, their biggest flops they've ever seen in history. Things like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And of course, released just last week, The Marvels, which when it's all said and done, will have a budget of over $300 million and might have trouble cracking $200 million at the box office. That's not accounting for all the different reshoots, all the visual effects, or the marketing for that movie. That's probably going to lose $300 million for Disney just with the Marvels. But it's also reminded people that Disney's woes are not over. Even in the last quarterly earnings call, Bob Iger was forced to admit that they've had massive disappointments at the box office and they really need to turn things around. Disney's box office problems ramp up pressure on CEO Bob Iger and studio chief Alan Bergman. And the next thing coming out is another animated movie. And that used to be, let's get it straight. When you had a Disney animated movie coming out, whether it was Walt Disney Studios or Walt Disney Animation Studios or whether it was Pixar, that thing was usually going to be a guaranteed moneymaker and a lot of people would enjoy it. That has not been the case lately. And the next one that's coming out is Wish. And they were hoping for some good word of mouth surrounding that. That has not been the case so far. In fact, it's one of the worst reviewed by the critics Disney animated movies we've seen in a long, long time. Disney's Wish is currently with a rotten score of 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is Walt Disney Animation Studios' first rotten score since Chicken Little 18 years ago. Disney's Wish unfulfilled as movies Rotten Tomatoes lower than last year's box office disaster. That's reminding people of Strange World, another box office disaster for an animated movie. And as much as people might like to talk about Elemental, what a great comeback, I will admit Elemental had a great box office run after a miserable opening, but it still was not enough to make that movie profitable. That thing needed around $600 million worldwide to break even at the box office. It couldn't even get to 500. So it certainly did have a good run. It had good legs after the miserable opening, but it was not enough to make the movie profitable. This is their next hope. They need Wish to do big things releasing over the Thanksgiving holiday, but it does not look like it's off to a good start. And to be honest, from the very beginning, it didn't feel like the audience was feeling this either. I don't know how many people are going to go see it. I don't know how many people are interested in this. And with the first trailer that we got, well, I don't know if it was the first trailer, but the official trailer we got over a month ago got ratioed. A Disney animated movie trailer got ratioed on Disney's own channel. 85,000 dislikes to 61,000 upvotes. With a lot of things saying, wow, I feel like I relate more with the villain. Like the villain is actually on point with not wanting to grant everybody's wishes willy-nilly than with the actual protagonist in this. Look at some of this. Her personality, down to the way she speaks and her expressions, are identical to like every Disney protagonist we've had since Tangled. Is this not exhausting to anyone else? It's a worrying sign that the trailer makes me agree with the bad guy and root for him. But hopefully they'll provide us a nuanced story about why not everyone gets their wish. But from the trailer, I 100% agree with the king. Giving the villain a crazy look every now and then won't make people hate him. Dude literally has a point. I like relatable characters, but sometimes I want to see the characters who make you go, wow, they aren't me at all, but that's the type of person I want to be. So they were already on their back heel with this. With the current box office projection, it doesn't look like Wish is going to do very good things at the box office. Will probably be better than the way Elemental started. That went on to have a really good hold. But right now, it doesn't look like people are very engaged. And with another movie that has a $200 million reported budget and $100 million likely in marketing, we can even give the benefit of the doubt and say that that's going to be closer to $75 million. You're still looking at something that needs probably $550 million at the global box office to break even, if not more. And typically, the way these animated movies have the massive international box office split, that might not even be enough. So Wish is already, when Disney desperately needs a win before the end of the year, The Marvels, one of the biggest flops they've ever had in the history of their studio, following flops like Dial of Destiny, Haunted Mansion, all these movies that have lost a massive amount of fucking money. Now you're looking at something else that not only the critics are as low on as they've been in 2 decades, but it looks like fans might not show up to give them a chance. Because families, let's be frank, families don't trust Disney anymore. That's one of the biggest problems. That's why their animated shit is struggling. That's why their children's-based stuff is struggling right now, because families no longer have a reason to trust Disney with all the shit they're putting into all their content. We'll see what happens when Wish actually comes out. It seems like a very meh movie. And at this point in time, That's not getting people to come to the theaters. They're not going to go see another meh Disney movie. They've seen enough of those. And Wish has a long way to go if it wants to make its money back at the box office, which has not been done very often over the last couple years at Disney.